today we're going to do an interview with Biko Skalla, the Savannah Bananas announcer. If you don't know the Savannah Bananas, about 6 years ago, I'd say roughly, Jesse Cole started this team. It's kind of a dancing baseball team.
Yo,
Hey, what's up?
nothing much. How's it going today?
Good.
Sweet. Okay.
Who is your best friend, you would say, on the Party Animals or Bananas?
Ooh, that is an insanely hard question. On the Bananas, I would say my best friend is Kyle Lewigs. We hang out a lot outside of the baseball world, and of course, we have been in the booth quite a bit as well. As one of the resident Bananaland historians, he's in his 6th year. So Kyle is probably my best friend, but I hang out with a lot of the guys. I spend a lot of time with Michael Deeb and Jake Skoll and Reese Hampton, and there's guys on both teams that I really do love. So,
Favorite place you've traveled in the 2023 tour?
another very hard question, as we've been to 30 cities now and just have 3 left on the docket. So obviously I haven't been to Milwaukee, the home of your favorite team, the Milwaukee Brewers. We'll be there next weekend. And I haven't been up to Syracuse or Cooperstown, although those are both very close to my home. So I've been there many times in my life, especially since I went to college in Syracuse. But across the first 30 cities, Phoenix, I think, is probably my favorite. I love climbing Camelback Mountain. The city in general, like Scottsdale and Peoria, was super cool. It was very different than anything I'd seen in my travels up and down the East Coast and venturing out to Kansas City and through the Midwest a little bit. So yeah, Phoenix is probably my favorite, but I've truly enjoyed every single stop.
What is your favorite part of your job, and what is your least favorite part of your job?
Oh my gosh, another really good one. I would say my favorite part of my job is just getting to be at the baseball field all the time. Like, having your office be a baseball field is super, super duper cool. And then obviously, like, my work, the core of my work is watching baseball and talking about it. So that's pretty perfect for me as a human being. My least favorite part of my job, that's tough because there's I guess I would say the prep. Just because it takes hours and hours and hours of preparation before you go on air every day. But that's just what I like the least about it. I still like doing that. Like, I really enjoy diving into the numbers and learning people's stories and figuring out how to best tell them in a banana ball game, which is really tricky because of how fast-paced it is. But yeah, I mean, like, it's the least fun part of all the things that I do for my job, but it's still fun for me, which is awesome.
Who likes stats more, you or Josh?
Oh, that's so easy. It's Josh. I love stats more than you can imagine. Like, I'm probably in the 99.9 percentile of people in the world who enjoy stats. I mean, even if you went just into the baseball world, I'm probably 95% plus of, like, stats are my life. Like, I grew up reading the newspapers and just looking at box scores and the back of baseball cards. But you just can't put me next to Josh. I mean, Josh is the 0.000001% of mega stats nerds, and that's part of what we love so much. He's incredible.
Have you and Josh recovered from the 2-out inning yet?
Oh my goodness. I think I'm just about getting over it. Josh will never probably recover in his life from it. It was just so shocking, and you feel so helpless because you see something incorrect happening on the field, and it's like, we're just up in the booth talking about the game. Like, there's no way for us to stop it happening. You're just watching an absolute horror film for the two of us who care about banana ball more than just about anything in our lives. Play out in front of you, and you're just hoping one of the 3 umpires knows, and unfortunately they did not. That's Josh probably will never get over it, and I'm just about figuring out how to live with that happening in life.
I honestly didn't know that there was only 2 outs. I thought there was 3 until you're like, wait, there's only 2 outs. So,
and it helped the confusion in that it was like a loopy liner that Dalton Malding, like, barely caught above the ground, and then kind of flipped first. So, like, there was, like, that added level of weirdness of, like, wait, yeah. I'm pretty sure he caught that on the fly. Why'd he throw it to first? And now it's only the 2nd out of the inning. So, like, everything was just super weird about it.
What was your favorite memory from the 2023 tour?
My favorite memory was getting to broadcast in George M. Steinbrenner Field. getting to be in the Yes Network booth. And the last time I had been there, the only time I'd been there before broadcasting there, was with my grandpa Mike, who asked after just watching one banana ball game back in 2020 when I first went to team. So like he, you know, at least on Earth has not gotten to watch this bizarre and weird and magical journey. But the spring before I came to Bananaland, we watched a Yankee spring training game there. So that was really special and powerful for me. And then like just all the crazy stuff that happens on the field, like just last weekend in Des Moines, Iowa, seeing DJ the Invader be the first ever banana baller to throw a sub 1 minute inning. I'm sorry. See the first back-to-back sub 2 minute innings for Zach Phillips, and then son of a gun, Brett Helton does it the next night. Like that's just the madness of baseball and banana ball right there. It doesn't happen for 106 games, and then it happens in the 107th and the 108th game all the time. There's a lot of stuff like that where it's just like mind-boggling stuff on the field. And then, of course, Jackson Olsen getting the 500th combined trick play for both teams. Like, what an astounding accomplishment.
What is your favorite in-between inning game or promotion?
Ooh, I'm a sheet race guy. I've loved the sheet race from the day I saw it for the first time back in the summer of 2020, and every time we break it out since then. By My Dad is like a classic that also has a good place in my heart. And then the Merman race this past weekend, I was thrilled by, as well as the evolution of cornhole. That gave me some good chuckles. So we continue to come up with amazing promotions, but my heart will always be set on the sheet race as my number one in between entertainment promotion.
What is your favorite food?
Ooh, my favorite food is mashed potatoes with gravy and golly, slap some kind of meat on the side, and I am cooking. So yeah, my both my grandmothers make a really good mashed potatoes and gravy, and as does my Aunt Lynn. So like that's like a classic. Usually pot roast is the meat with it, but really like you give me like some turkey or you know, any kind of meat. If you got some mashed potatoes and gravy, I'm probably going to be pretty fired up about. In fact, like the Brauhaus, this German restaurant up by me in New York, they do it with some other kind of like, you know, classic German meats that I'm a big fan of as well. So if you get some mashed potatoes and gravy and a little meat to mix in, I'm fired up.
What is your favorite Dalton Malding song?
The two most recent ones are bangers, How'd You Keep Her and Miss You Love You. Those are both really good. I think I'm a cherry lime guy. If I had to choose one, that's like kind of a little bit of a throwback at this point in Dalton's incredible music career. But yeah, he's got so many incredible tunes at this point. I think cherry lime's my number one, but it's tough to pick.
I think mine's probably Miss You Love You.
Yeah, banger.
What is your favorite player?
Ooh, yeah, it's tough because, like, as the broadcaster, I consider myself an unbiased viewer of Banana Ball, or historian, if you want to go that far. But as far as just watching players play Banana Ball, Reese Hampton is tough to pick against because he's just the best at everything offensively. And you got a guy leading the tour in batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging. That is a really impressive talent that you have. And then also he's incredibly fun to watch in the field. Same goes for Jake Skoll, who hit some nukes. And Bryson Bloomer, this is now the third year I've got to watch him. I watched him win back-to-back Coastal Clean League championships with the Bananas and now be an incredible player for the Party Animals, also really good in the field. So, you know, like the big three for the Party Animals, Tanner Thomas and Dalton Cornett, right up there to make it a big five. Like, they're incredibly fun. And then for the Bananas, D.R. Meadows is kind of like the other side of the coin to Reese Hampton. Not as much pop, but an incredible fielder and the bigger classic spark plug for an offense. Dan Oberst, this is now the fourth year that I've got to watch Dan Oberst play banana ball or baseball. And that is super cool. And then, you know, it'd be crazy to leave out Bill or Kyle. There's some really incredible pitchers on both sides. Brian Cox, but his nonstop trick play is at shortstop, and then Justin Baber is the other side of the coin for the Party Animals. Like, I mean, I'm just about listing of each roster, but there's just so many fun banana ballers out there. It's tough to choose. But if I had to pick one banana ball player that I just really enjoy watching nonstop, it's going to be between Reese Hampton and DR Meadows, and I'm probably biased because I was a center fielder for most of my baseball career, and they're pretty similar player to them, except for the pop that Reese Hampton has. I did not have it before, except for my 12-year-old year in Little League. I'm going to make it a tie between the two starting center fielders and leadoff hitters, DR and Reese.
Talking about DR Meadows, I can't even do a backflip, but catching a baseball and doing a backflip, I could never.
Mind-boggling. Yeah, absolutely mind-boggling. Like Cooper Morgan from the Aussie Drop Bears also pulled off a backflip catch. Kind of landed on his back, but it was one of the most stupendous things I've seen in my life. Literally the only other person we have ever seen do a backflip and catch a ball while doing it. I also cannot backflip, but Maceo Harrison has been teaching all kinds of people how to backflip. Most recently, Garrett Heleno and Brett Helton earlier on this tour, and I know Bridges. So like, I feel like I can do it, and maybe I'll be whipping out backflips in the future. But currently, in my state right now, I cannot backflip, not anything close to it.
What is your favorite MLB team?
I am a diehard New York Yankees fan. I have been my entire life. It's very controversial because everybody on my dad's side of the family are all diehard Red Sox fans, and everybody on my mom's side of the family are all diehard Yankees fans. And my Uncle Mike, my mom's brother, got to me first. Thank goodness he did. Because, I mean, come on, I grew up 2 hours north of New York City. Like, obviously, I should be a New York Yankees fan. And it really lended to being, like, a fan of the big four New York sports teams. So you throw the Knicks and the Giants and the Rangers in there as well. It has led to a lot of sadness in life. Turns out, actually, you know, in my first 5 years of existing in the world, the Yankees won 4 World Series, and they've only won 1 since. I did really enjoy 2009, but they have not been back to the World Series since that date, which is brutal. And of course, the Red Sox have broken the curse in 2004 and have won 4 World Series championships since that date. So it has been a little lopsided. I think I would actually have gotten a lot more joy in life being a Boston sports fan. I wouldn't trade being a Yankees fan for anything.
What is your favorite MLB player?
Growing up, I was a huge Hideki Matsui fan. He was like my first real favorite player when he joined the Yanks in 2003. And then Robinson Cano took the baton from Matsui after that. Milky Cabrera, I really enjoyed for a little while there. And then, of course, like the core four of Jeter, Mariano, Pettit, and Posada, they all had a special place in my heart, as well as Bernie Williams. And then if you get to modern day, like Aaron Judge, how could you root against the next captain of the Yankees? He's a superhero. So that's kind of like the path of my favorite players. I wouldn't say I really have a favorite player now, because I've become more of a baseball fan and less of a Yankees fan, which I think just kind of happens once you're in the business. And you start to really appreciate guys like Fernando Tatis Jr. and Ronald Acuna, and then even rookies like Corbin Carroll and Ellie De La Cruz. There's guys all over Major League Baseball that are just so fun to watch nowadays.
I think what Shohei's doing is unbelievable.
Yeah, how could I not mention Shohei, the greatest baseball player of all time, like doing things that Babe Ruth literally didn't even do. So yeah, anytime Shohei is doing anything in the world, I'm trying to watch.
Can you describe the first time you heard of the Jeter flip play?
Ooh, I think I saw it in Yankeeography. That was another cool thing about being a Yankees fan, is like history, obviously. Not to be the 27 rings guy, but like 27 rings. And yeah, and watching Jeter's Yankeeography, really good documentary done by the Yes Network. It was mind-boggling to nab Giambi at the plate and the fist pump from Giambi. And then I had like a little flip book of those things that had like probably like 100 pictures or so. And when you flipped it really quick, it showed the flip play in like stop motion. That was some old technology right there. So there's the flip play has been an important part in my life early on as a Yankee fan, for sure.
Do you have a dog?
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't own a dog. When I'm in Savannah, I live with Paula, who is my host down here, and she has 2 cats. They're very fun, Sparky and Smudge. They're hilarious. And then in my apartment up in Jersey City, my roommates, but back in Chelsea, have 2 cats, and they are very fun, Entei and Alfred. So I've kind of turned into a cat guy, which is funny. But growing up, my dad and my stepmom had Chloe, an English Shepherd, was like my first dog. That was actually mine. And sadly, she just passed this past summer, but amazing life, the queen of the farm, the first dog on the farm, which is now been around for over a decade, and she really ran that thing. So Chloe will always be my favorite dog in the world because she was just an absolute legend. It's so sweet and smart. And then she has a couple younger brothers that are terriers, Bolt and Brody, and they are little monsters. Like, they remind me of Gremlins from the movie Gremlins. But they're hilarious. Bolt doesn't really do anything positive for the farm except for be good vibe and be weird. And Brody is like Scrappy-Doo and eats a lot of critters that would pester our farm animals. So he does have some good utility on the farm. And then my mom has a little like Beagle Terrier mix that's a real just mutt of a dog called Sunny, and Sunny is one of my favorites all time. She can jump like 8 feet tall, and she's really tiny. So I love all the dogs in my life. There's so many more. I mean, like, I have basically adopted Barry Aldridge, our coordinator of baseball ops. He's got 2 amazing dogs, Crash and Sammy, and I'm over there a lot, rolling around on the floor with them. I am a big time dog person, but personally, at this point in my life, don't own any dogs and could not take care of a dog right now.
What is your favorite restaurant in Savannah, Georgia?
I am a huge fan of the Vault. It's kind of like an Asian fusion restaurant, and they have a chicken clay pot, which is like a chicken curry with some vegetables, and that just blows my roof off. I love it. There's a lot of really good restaurants. I like Sly's Burgers and Fries. Taco and Tequila is super good. Or Tequila and Tacos and Tequila. There it is. And then if you get downtown, like Vic's down by the river is really good. If you get out to Tybee Island, Huckapoo's is like a classic beach bar with some really fun like garbage pizzas. It's probably my favorite. The creme de la creme is the Vault because of their chicken clay pot. It just rocks my world.
Favorite trick play that Ryan Cox has pulled off this year?
I think it's one of his most recent. He actually pulled it off in Game 1 in Des Moines, where he went behind his back to a dribble, barehanded, and fired over to first. Like, that was stupendous. I would also go his 99th trick play of the tour was masterful. It won Game 2 in Rancho Cucamonga, and it was a double play, a 6-3 double play in which he went between the legs and was just mega fired up about afterwards. And that also was the first time, like, that double play for a trick play for his 99th of the tour also led to the Bananas being a game above the Party Animals for the first time since opening night all the way back on February 17th. So there was a lot that went into that made it pretty epic, and not like a trick play, but in Staten Island, boy oh boy, he made an insane play covering second base, sliding, grabbing the ball, tagging Jason Swan to have him stealing for the first time in 11 tries on the tour. That was just an absolutely masterful play and will definitely be in the Ripe Rundown coming out on YouTube in a weekend.
What is the longest home run ever hit in Grayson Stadium?
Ooh, so like sometimes TrackMan isn't up, and that makes it kind of like you don't really know. I can't speak on the 93 years of Grayson Stadium's existence before I came around. But from what I've seen, Juan Collado in 2020 hit one that I think is still going up right through dead center field. That was crazy. Also, Kyle Lewigs on August 15th, 2020. I will never forget it. Hit one of the farthest home runs I've ever seen in my life. Joe Lytle this year hit a ball that I'm pretty sure was about 470 feet. Like, it cleared the concrete wall out behind the right field wall and clanged off cars, and I Google Earthed it, and that was like 470 feet. So that was absolutely massive. There's been some really tattooed balls, and then like Livan Reynoso in last summer and the summer before hit some nukes to left that I'm pretty sure are stuck up in the trees somewhere. So it's tough to say. As far as like, I think Joe Lytle, funny enough, might have it. I feel like it was Joe's or Kyle's. They both just turned on pitches and sent them out into the parking lot in right, and I think it's probably one of those two.
What do MLB players and coaches say about Banana Ball?
They are always really impressed by the skill of the players, which is awesome. Like, that's exactly what we want to hear. They're really impressed by the caliber of play, and then also by just like having the most fun they've ever had on a baseball field before. We hear that so consistently, and that's what we're all about. So it obviously really warms our heart. But yeah, it's a combination of like, whoa, the actual baseball part of Banana Ball is a really high level, and then man, it's just absolute class.
What advice would you have for a person who wants to do your job or wants to be like you?
Great question. I would say reps is the most important thing. Like just going out there, you don't even have to be on a broadcast. Like you can just go to any kind of game, like any sport, and just hit voice memos on your phone, hit record, and pretend you're doing a radio broadcast. And then like send it to anybody in the business who will give it a little listen and can give you some critique. Like that is huge. And the more time you spend broadcasting, the better you'll be at it. And then if you want my job, you have to be very, very open to doing anything goofy and you know, not taking yourself too seriously. Like that's a pretty important aspect of my job, and being able to bring some excitement to the banana ball field every day. I think those are like the two most important things as far as me being a broadcaster.
Who's the craziest player in Bananaland?
That is a very good question. The craziest all-time player in Bananaland is Nick Clarno. Like, nobody will ever be more bizarre than that man. He is what Tyler Gillum would call an energy giver. He's an absolute psychopath. There's a reason why he's the only person that I'm aware of to eat a cockroach before a game just to fire the guys up. And it turned out good for him because he got one of the first NIL deals in the country as an exterminator. Was like, oh, this would be kind of fun for a commercial. So Nick Clarno has the all-time crown for Bananaland, and he's pretty kooky. And then like Bill Lee, I mean, who's more banana pants bonkers than the spaceman? It's probably between those guys.
Speaking of crazy, what is the craziest thing you have done on a broadcast?
Wow, that is very, very tricky. I've broadcast with a horse head on before because of the Wheel of Unfortunate. That was very odd. I have spent some time like down on the first base line trying to do a dance battle with Maceo and Dakota McFadden, then hit the Duke of a walk-off homer off Dylan Porter. That was pretty bonkers. I mean, I've had to gargle water during at-bats. That was earlier on this tour, and then Ryan Cox smoked one up the middle, and Jake Stoll made an inning-saving play. So I'm sure I'm leaving out like legitimately the craziest stuff, but those were the first few that come to mind.
You ever have a brain fart on the broadcast?
Oh yeah, probably every single broadcast. Like you have a thought, and then either the word that you need or like the point that you were trying to make escapes you like that. And then you just got to figure a way to pivot out of it. So yeah, probably on a nightly basis, I have brain farts on the broadcast.
What is the craziest player or celebrity you've had in the broadcast?
Wow, craziest player or celebrity. I mean, like, I think people from like an outside perspective would say like the most mega superstar we've had is Thomas Rhett. I am ashamed to say I did not really know who Thomas Rhett was before he was coming into the booth. I did some Wikipedia research and was able to figure it out. I was like, whoa, this guy's headlined like 6 of his own tours and has like 20 #1 hits on the country Billboard. That's pretty crazy. But he was just as normal and great a dude as you could ever imagine. So like he made it very easy to be normal with him. And then for me, the craziest was Tim Kurkson, just because I grew up idolizing that guy and watching him all the time on ESPN and reading his stories and listening to his take on Banana Ball and finding out that he loved it, even if he is absolutely confused by it. That was super cool for me.
What is the atmosphere in Bananaland?
It's pretty mad. It's pretty much madness. Like that is like it's controlled chaos, and it is a circus surrounding what used to be a baseball game and is now a banana ball game. Just like Shark does an amazing job as our PA announcer and DJ. Like it's nonstop music. It's tough to figure out where your eyes should be looking and what senses you should be using to soak in the environment that you are currently living in. It's just nonstop action and fun, and like that's what it's all about.
What is your favorite music artist of all time?
I am a huge Red Hot Chili Peppers guy. I like stumbled upon them when I was in 4th grade, and I've just never heard a sound that I enjoy more than the Peppers. Stadium Arcadium is my favorite album of all time. It's a double album. There's 28 songs. 26 of them are amazing. So I'm a big Chili Peppers guy. I love Jack Johnson. I'm a huge Jack Johnson fan as well. I got to go to one of his concerts. It was like a lifelong, incredible event for me. And then like there's so many others, but like Big Sublime and Green Day, like Alt J, Milky Chance. There's Mount Joy. I mean, Kroonbin. And I've just left out so many of my favorites, like the Gorillaz, the Who. Back in the day, I was a big fan of the Who, the Clash. So like, I like a lot of like alternate. I get into the punk scene a little bit with the Clash and stuff. And then my mom's band, Perfect Thyroid, back in the day, that was kind of like what I grew up with. So and that's ska and punk. So like, I'm a big, if you get like a nice musical ensemble. I saw Revolution live. That was probably the greatest concert I've ever seen in my life. Then I'm gonna be vibing with you. Camp was also an amazing concert. Camp with 2 A's. And like I said, I've left out a bajillion artists and musicians that I really love, but those are the ones that come to mind.
What is your favorite baseball movie?
Wow. I was a big Major League guy growing up. Like I always really loved Major League. The Sandlot and Benchwarmers are both up there for me as well. I'd say those are probably like my big 3, and then like Bull Durham and Field of Dreams are pretty legendary as well. So, but I would probably put Major League number 1. It's just the like silly humor is my kind of thing.
Who's your favorite YouTuber?
Ooh. Favorite YouTuber? I'm a big fan of John Boy Media. So like anything that John Boy, Jake, and the crew are putting out. I'm biased because they came to the One City World Tour back in 2021, and then we got to hang out with them in the warehouse, and like they've been posting some of those videos recently. So like I know them personally, and that gives them a big advantage. I also really love the game Civilization 6 because I just love building civilizations and like world wonders and creating an empire. So like in the rare free time I have, I'm playing that, and sometimes I'll watch Potato McWhiskey, who plays Civilization and is like super galaxy brain, very smart, like playing the game at a whole level above me. So I kind of like to watch him and see what he's doing as well.
Cool. I think we're running out of time.
It's been an absolute blast. I got to pop on a meeting here in a minute, but it's been so much fun getting a chat with you, Jackson. Great questions, dude.
You too. Thanks.
Awesome. Have a great day, man.
You too.
Good luck to your Brewers.
Thanks. Bye.
See you, man.
That was the interview with Biko. Yeah. God bless. Jesus loves you. See ya in the next one.